From a player hated by his fans to another player getting stick from all the clubs he's turned up for. These are the most hated players in football. And first up, it's football's very own Dolphin, Neymar Jr., and he needs no introduction. You think he's got everything, can score goals, give assists, is a samba dribbler, and knows how to drip on and off the pitch. But in reality, Neymar's never really had a place he could call home, because he's gotten stick everywhere. See, back when he was at Barca, he looked like he was going to become the heir to Messi at the club, like he was waiting in line for his turn. But in 2017, Neymar shocked everyone by chasing the bag. $222 million to make him the most expensive player of all time. The Barca fans were naturally upset Neymar ditched them, but over at his new club, Neymar never settled in. Injuries, poor form in big games, and after 6 years at the club, despite bagging 118 goals and 77 assists in 173 games, Neymar left as one of the most hated players in the club's history. Yeah, they never liked him. Neymar won't be the first PSG player to get stick from the fans, but at least it was for his performances on the pitch. Mauro Icardi was hated for the stuff he did off it. Icardi has to be one of the most controversial footballers I've ever seen. Imagine stealing your teammate's wife, then his family, and turning them into your own. That's Icardi's reality. At Inter Milan, it looked like Icardi would be all set to become a club legend there. But in the end, he chose to move to Paris and join PSG when the offer came, thanks to his agent and wife Wanda Nara, leading to the Inter fans treating him like this when they found out. Yikes! Icardi's time at PSG, however, was characterized by his life off it. Anytime he and Wanda Nara had an argument, it always blew up in the press, so you can imagine what would have happened when they decided to split up. In the end, it led to some section of the PSG fans booing Icardi, and these days, he's balling out in Turkey with Galatasaray. Can't even lie, if I were his teammate, there's no way I'd invite him over for dinner, ever. Think Icardi's case is bad? You've got to check out this next dude, who's not just hated by his club, but had his life ruined because of one case. In 2021, Mason Greenwood was on a high. He was being tipped as the next big thing in English football, and was even playing in a United team that had Cristiano Ronaldo on it. But at the start of 2022, Greenwood's life as he knew it was about to change. A woman came out accusing Greenwood of assault, dropping audio tapes and photographs. It became so heated that Greenwood's career fell off bad. He lost his Nike sponsorship with the brand, then got suspended from playing for Manchester United, and was even set to face jail time. In the end, Greenwood got released on bail, but the damage was done, because a large section of United fans didn't even want him to play for the club and England. These days, Greenwood is balling for Getafe in La Liga. Safe to say, the hate around him back home is still huge. Greenwood later owned up to the stuff he did to try and repair the damage it had done. But for Carlos Tevez, he didn't care, because the hate only made him stronger. Tevez had one of the most controversial careers in the game's history. After moving to England to join West Ham for Boca Juniors, Tevez completed a deadline day loan move to join Manchester United in 2007, and it left the West Ham fans angry. But Tevez wasn't done making the dudes who cheered him on every week hate him. 2 years after his loan move to United was over, you'd never believe the club he rocked up for next. And it didn't just end there, because at the home of United's rival City, Tevez scored against his former team and rubbed it in. He's a savage! The hate didn't mean anything to Tevez. He was out of England 2 years later. No matter what Tevez does though, I don't think he'd ever get as much hate as this next dude. He's hated by 2 countries. Diego Costa, football's very own wrecking ball. All through his career, Costa has been known for 2 things: scoring goals and causing chaos. His international career, though, has been even more controversial. See, Costa is originally from Brazil, and ahead of the 2014 World Cup, in 2013, the Brazilian national team invited him to play friendlies against Italy and Russia. But in December 2013, Costa shocked the world by switching countries just months before the showpiece. He chose to play for Spain instead. The courts granted Costa's decision, and at the 2014 World Cup on Brazilian turf, you can almost imagine what happened to him. He was getting booed from all angles. Costa hasn't played for the Spanish national team since 2018, and now 35, his chapter with La Roja is certainly over. And looking back at it now, he's divided opinions all along, even in Spain. To be fair to him though, he does have a really small section of people that can tolerate him. Can't say the same about this next dude though, he's hated all around. You know it's really bad when you come in first for being the most hated player in Premier League history, Joey Barton. Yeah, that guy. He didn't just do it in England, he went over to France and got stuck there too. Nah, the balls on this guy to pick on Zlatan's nose must be huge. Barton's been involved in several controversial events over the years, from mass brawls like the one with Aguero and fighting fans, and even bagging jail time. At any club he's been at, Barton has always bagged the headlines for the wrong reasons. Now, I can understand why people don't like Joey Barton that much, but this next guy? Nah, he's just a victim of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Pretty sure you know the memes. Harry Maguire. He's right up there with one of the most memed ballers of all time. In Maguire's case, you gotta feel for the guy. Let's just say he's been in some difficult situations over the years, from injuring his teammate like this to show the entire world how not to defend. Despite being the most expensive defender in Premier League history, Maguire is still hated by a large section of the United fans, and even gets booed by some of the national team fans as well. Hard luck. Fair play to the dude. He's been battling it out and trying to ignore the hate. And in his case, at least it wasn't as loud as this former England center back, who had an entire team trying to attack him. In 2001, Sol Campbell had done the unthinkable. And if you're from North London, the unforgivable. He'd moved from Spurs to Arsenal. The fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. He betrayed them, a real traitor move. And so the next time Campbell showed up to the White Hart Lane rocking his new Arsenal colors, the Spurs fans decided to show him what they thought about him. Judas! Add this to some short money moves to Portsmouth and Notts County, and Campbell made it very clear he'd always chase the bag over loyalty. For guys like Campbell, the hate they receive is made up for by the money. But for guys like Emmanuel Adebayor, getting all that hate is because of revenge. In 2008, Adebayor was supposed to be Arsenal's next big star after finishing third in the Golden Boot race that season. Adebayor was all set to lead Arsenal in the coming season, until he wasn't. He switched clubs and created a huge situation. His move to City led to him receiving a lot of stick from the Arsenal fans, and in response, Adebayor showed there was no love lost between them after doing this. He made it worse by later playing for Spurs, and to top it all off, when he played for Crystal Palace, he admitted to not even knowing about his new team and having to Google them. What a guy. But Adebayor will still have to come in at second place, because this next guy is hated by an entire continent. The 2010 World Cup, Ghana versus Uruguay, and Ghana was on the verge of making history. At the time, no African team had ever made it to the semifinals of the World Cup. But deep into extra time, Ghana had the ultimate chance. After a free kick got swung into the box, John Pansil got his head onto it, and it had clearly beaten the goalie, until a hand came out of nowhere and stopped it from going in. Suarez handball and a red card. In the end, Suarez's gamble worked out for Uruguay. Ghana missed the penalty and lost in the shootout too. Ever since the event, the Ghanaians and most of Africa have somehow found a way to blame Suarez for what happened. And his reputation doesn't help him too. I mean, the dude has gotten banned for biting opponents twice. Maybe he was hungry, or maybe he'd skip watching our channel so much it made him go crazy. Damn, if only he just subscribed.